Hello everybody. This is a very long video. It's probably, I'm just guessing, 3.5 hours. And believe you me, I left lots on the cutting room floor. But it covers just about everything. And it's a big fish. It's a big fish. I call it my torpedo fish, but it's a type of megalops. And I've been working on off and on this fish because there's so many things I have to do this fish for about a year. But so without further ado, let's go see the video. You might want to bring your popcorn. Okay, I just moved this fish on this big slab from the outer garage to this prep garage that I have. I've got all the pieces kind of in place. Not sure what this piece is for. Can't see anything on it. So it definitely goes right there somewhere. I'll figure that later. Can't figure out what this piece goes to, but I'll figure that out. And as you can see, well, this is the missing tailbone for here, so I got to transfer that to there. And as you can see, these rocks are not flat. Big hunk of rock here, big hunk of rock here, and big hunk of rock here, so I got to flatten all that. I gotta quit working on big fish. They beat me up too much nowadays. But look at this fin here. Comes straight down, a pectoral fin, I believe. It's not missing very much once it gets on there, but it's missing some little tiny pieces. Why so much rock down here? I don't know. He hasn't marked anything. So I don't know why so much rock below this fish. I don't know why it wasn't cut right here. Stupid shrimps. There's more dang shrimp on these freaking rocks than you can shake a stick at. Shrimps I got. Okay, so it's going to be quite a job to get this all ready to go, glued together onto a backer board, and then fill the spaces between this slab and the backer board with some concrete stuff. As you can see, this rock is thick, where this rock isn't near as thick, and it has to go up like so. So the first piece I'm going to work on is actually the underside of this. You can see this is the side of the fish, obviously. And I love the way he left a lot of rock. I had to bug the crap out of him to leave lots of rock behind the tail, in front of the nose. They want to go right in front of the nose, right behind the tail. Ah, that bothers me. Oh well, way it goes. So what I'm going to do is take all this off. So I'll try this whole slab down to this layer right here. That's going to take me a while. So I will return. Get a load of this. I put this down, grabbed my bigger chisel, my hammer, started beating on it, bam, 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 and then right here, it just popped. I haven't even lifted it up yet. Get a load of this. Wow. And the little fishy. Not perfect, but man, that saved me a lot of time. And heck, see if this will happen. That's the way it's done. Alright. Woo! That didn't even take 15 minutes. It's not perfect. I'll go over that with the diamond grinder, but oh man, that's gonna Took off a pound or two of rock easily. So, what I'm going to do on this side, I don't know. But once I get it all together, I'll trim it to where I want it, and then I'll attack some of this rock, I think. Maybe, sort of, kind of. Anyways. Less rock to take off this big piece, but I wanted this one layer to be kind of flat so I could work on it easier. But that took a while. You could see it didn't pop off too well. But that piece is now flat on the bottom. This is the head piece. This is the one I dread cutting because it's not going to be easy. Almost threw that piece away. That's a piece of what? All that's going to be tossed. Always something. Alright, that was the tough one. The rest will be a whole heck of a lot easier. And there's all the little pieces. I'm going to gently give those a washing. Hopefully I don't lose anything. Man, that's a whole lot less rock though. A whole lot less. It's always scary when you're washing stuff because you can always lose stuff. I mean, this stuff is pretty solid. Actually, I'm not sure what the word I'm using. I'm trying to look for, but pretty stable. They're pretty stable. I cut some of these rocks in half, so once that is glued onto the fish, then I'll have less to air scribe. And of course the skull piece. That rock's got to be, this whole rock's going to be glued down. So I want to clean up that whole rock. And a bit of a dry, and later today or tomorrow I'll glue all these pieces into place. Maybe not all of them, it depends on what I'm doing at the moment. And there you have it. Okay, the very first piece I'm going to glue together is this piece. This piece is now upside down, and this goes just like that. So, a new bottle of glue. They came up with a new lid for these things, and oh god, they absolutely suck. Sorry, Starbond, but that sucks. So, some glue. Put that in place, hopefully before the glue starts to move around too much. Press. I'm going to take this and put that there to hold that in place. I've got a bigger clamp right here, which is going to hopefully, guess I should have 24 hours later, turn this like so. So you can see we have a buildup of glue right here, a little bit here. So I'm going to have to take that off. So I got to go start my machine because I'm going to glue this rock on today, which goes down here, and this is the head of the fish, which goes right like so. But I want a super good fit, so that's not going to work. That has to come off. That might have been too high, but either way, it's off of there now. Let's see, this goes it's got a rock, not a rock in it, but it's got like a rocking chair. There's something too high. Question is, what is it? Oh, I see. Bunch of dirt and dust over here. Don't know if that was it or not, but man, I want this to be blushing marks so I know how the heck it goes. Oh, that was it. That was pretty good. Alright, I'm going to glue that there. I'm going to glue this entire rock down here so I can save this dorsal fin, or these pieces of it. And then that's got to sit for 24 hours. Alright, I got to go get some glue. Okay, the most important piece is the head, so that's on. The second most important piece is the leftover bits of this pectoral fin. And then I thought, well heck, why don't I glue this on here too? You can see scales and stuff and bones that go right here and apparently right there. So I'm going to put that on there too. Why not? Too much glue, I think, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. That should do it. Actually, I think I'll put some there to help hold that rock. And that's it. Now then, put a crab concretion on top of that for some weight. Let's put a bigger crab concretion on that for more weight. There, 24 hours. See you guys later. Okay, got this rock back into place with these 4 pieces glued on. Now I'm going to shim all of this up so it fits to the level of this rock, and then mark it however square I want it, because it's big bow over there. I want to get rid of that, plus we'll get rid of extra rock, extra weight. And then when I get these all cut and back into place here, which will be a lot smaller, then I can glue all those little pieces back on. And well, that's just my step for today anyways. Okay, I got cardboard stuff, I've got a bunch of shims. I'm just going to start lifting this stuff up and putting it into place, like so. Well, that looks pretty good. Oh boy, get a load of that. That is a hell of a reach. And there's my marks. So every one of these pieces that has a mark on it, don't need this one, don't need this one, but these can be used because I'm going to have to add rock to the front there. I want this much space that's behind the tail in front of the head. And I think the nose of this fish goes right up to the edge of this rock, which I do not like, but Mother Nature is a breakable rock, and when they pry it up, it breaks up in all these pieces. Man, look at that fish. Holy cow, that's going to be gorgeous. Anyways, I got a lot of cutting to do. Okay, took it out to the saw, cut all the pieces. Got everything back in. I got all this leftover rock for building whatever the heck I need, which I don't think I'll need a whole lot. But right now I got to clean all this up and dry it all up and get ready to glue all this together. It's probably going to take several days, but I'm getting there. It's a process. Okay, all cleaned, well, roughly cleaned. I paid close attention to the edges because that's what's going to be glued. Then I realized that I'm going to take this over there and prep out this tail tip and get that out of the way before I glue these two together. And then, what else was I going to do? Jeez, I can't even remember now. Anyways, I'm always changing things. My mind's always going, trying to think 2 and 3 steps ahead, and then I start talking about it, and then I forget what I was. Anyways, I'm going to hopefully put this one on this rock. This one, I believe, goes, if I can remember where that one goes, part of that tail there somehow. And then these two here, which actually go down here somewhere. Actually, I remember these going together. I thought they went together. Oh well, I'll figure it out. It's a puzzle. 4 pieces glued on. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4. And I'm going to have to concentrate on this one. I don't know how that goes on there. It's bizarre. So the other one is over there. I can't glue on because I have another piece that's glued on that's got a little something in the way, so I have to prep that first, then glue the next piece on. Let's go over there and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So here's the piece I'm talking about. This one right here with all these scales and bones and part of whatever. It goes right here like so. But it won't go down, so Gotta remove some of this rock. I might as well just take most of that down, take part of it off here, and then see if I can get that on there. I might have to do some more washing. I didn't wash that very good. But just a matter of taking it down and getting part of it out of the way. I ran into a fin or something here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's part of this fish or something from a different fish. So I stopped going down even farther, but I thought that everything was down here where the break is. Maybe something came off and maybe a fin is up here like so. I don't know. Anyways, I thought, well, I'm taking rock off. I'm going to take this off too. So now back to this. What I'm going to do is take off some of this rock here and then concentrate on gluing this piece on. So I took off a little bit of rock there. Some of the bone stuff was falling apart, so I just stuck some glue in there real quick, some thin set cyanoacrylate, and that already fits a lot better. It doesn't go down there anymore. But there seems to be a, maybe not. Maybe I can glue it. I'm going to use lots of glue for that one. But first, rocks everywhere. Before I do that, I'm going to see what's going on right here. This is bothering me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and find this where this fin starts and follow it out and see if that's a fin for this pectoral fin. There it is. I thought this was it at first. I didn't know what was going on. Then I saw this rock here and I said, okay, that can't be it. So I don't know what that is. So I started going up here and boop, there it is. So, man, that's right in line. So I think I might have damaged it right here. I don't know if it was complete, but I hate to damage anything, especially something as nice as that. Oh, it's always something. Always. Alright, back to work. Whoa. Alright, I'm going to take off a little bit more there. Right there. And I'm going to glue that because I don't want to lose that. It was pretty soft up in here at the very beginning. Okay, running into my first problem. It caved in there and it caved in there, which means when the rock split, there was some stuff that fell out. Whether it was rock or bone, I don't know, but right now it doesn't look good. But it is what it is, so I'm just going to keep right on going and see what I run into. So this started really caving in. I thought, well, you might as well see this. put even more glue in there. If I gotta fight it, I gotta fight it, but if I can save something, I'd rather save it. Oh, that's scary. I had some scary stuff. Little accelerator. Speed up the cure process. Alright, back to work. And to be on the safe side, I got two different types of glue here. I got cyanoacrylate, which is super glue that I went down in there. That's really hard to get out. I mean, if you have to work with it to get it off or something. This stuff is a lot more forgiving. This is Gliptol, which I can use a brush. If you use a brush with the other stuff, you gotta throw the brush away. So, back to work. Just a little tip. I don't care if you're using Gliptol or Paraloid 72 or whatever it might be. I mix my Gliptol in this little bottle with however much acetone. But every once in a while, because I'm always squirting it in here and brushing here and brushing there, and I set it aside. And even though I put a lid on it, which is nothing but a piece of paper, it starts to get thick, so I put it back in there. And when I do that a few times, the whole bottle starts to get a little bit thicker, and I can tell when I'm putting it on the rock. So I added about a half a tablespoon of acetone to this Gliptol mixture and give it a little shake, and it's good as new again, ready for usage. Now that I've uncovered some of the main part of this pectoral fin, you can see that's part of it. Why it's higher than all the rest of them, which are at this crack down here, I don't know, but I can't believe I hit it. I did. I assumed it wasn't there. I assumed everything was down below, but you know what they say about people who assume things, about making assumptions. That's right. I'm not going to say it. Okay, here's glue, here's rock. I'll show you the difference. Here's rock. There's glue. And that's coming off pretty easy. Sometimes it's an absolute monster, but it can be done. Just showing you. Before I attack this piece here, because this is going to be a little more delicate than this stuff, I'm going to do this stuff first, then hop over here and get this. This should be easy, but it depends on how well it's glued. This side doesn't fit as good as this side, and I still had to leak glue underneath this rock over here because it still wasn't enough glue. And gluing sometimes can be pretty tricky. See how it's cracking there? That can be good or bad. Depends on how much there's any bone on there. There's a little bit of bone on there. Look closely right in this area. Let me zoom in for you. Let me turn some lights on for you. The This is where the glue is at, right here. This is where I just took off this piece of rock here, well, several pieces. But you can see how I got that placed just right, where this bone goes right here, this bone goes right here, this bone goes right here. I wish I had this piece of rock though, but I don't have it. And I could put that back on too. Anyways, it's working out not too bad so far, but as you can see, I'm just getting started, so who knows what I'm going to run into. Might as well do some of this to find your eyeballs. And I can't show you every time I glue, because I glue just gobs of times. Just a little bit, not much, just to help hold that broken up spine together. I also glued over here to hold little pieces together. It's going to be far from perfect, but I always try to save at least what I can save, or at least try to save what I can save. So anyways, there you go. That might be the last time I show you a glue spot, because there's just going to be glue everywhere here, just everywhere. Alright, I put on a bunch of glue in here, glue underneath this rock here, all throughout here, I don't believe I put any in there, but there's so much glue on there. I'm just going to let that cure and fight glue tomorrow or the next day. So I'm going to start another project or something. Well, I figure the piece I was working on goes from here over to the head. This is the tail end section, obviously. Before I do anything here, I'm going to wash this up. There's that white stuff in there, which is nothing but slurry from cutting rock. So I'm going to clean that up. And then when that's dry, I'm going to put a little glue there just so I can work on this without having to worry about any of these pieces of tailbone falling out. And I got this tip I can expose, and I've got these pieces I can do some stuff with. So what I'm going to start to do is this right here. Just like that. Wish everything worked out like that. Oh well, alright, back to work. Quit clowning around. Right there, I started right there. Well, you'll see, it looks loose to me and it's scary stuff. Man, that popped off as nice as you could absolutely want. Alright, back to work. I just wanted to show you that. I also use Gliptol, which I mix with acetone. I put it in a little shot glass. I use a little tiny art brush, and if you can look real carefully there's some bone that popped off. And I'm going to take a little bit of Gliptol, and put it in some places just to help hold some bone down. I'll take care of the rest of that later, but that'll hold everything together without falling apart. Now I can do some more. Watch some more fall apart. You make a mistake with this, it's going to be a big mistake, so be careful. This part of this tail is coming out absolutely freaking beautiful. But that's getting so much concentration, which I just don't have today. So I'm going to wait until I'm fresh one morning to do that. When I do get to this, I'll just build that up with some putty and carve it in and try to paint it the best I can. So right now I'm going to get over to here, start removing these two pieces. So far so good. Nice and easy with the glued spots right here somewhere. That's when it's going to start getting a little bit on the tough side. Really tough rock. That's hard on the tip. Very hard on the tip. Anyways, I gotta get back to work. Okay, the tail end piece way back there ran into some problems. I had to do some serious gluing. So I put that aside, and the only thing I got left is this. I wanted to follow this all the way up to the head, but if I can just go down here and find some bone, then I can just follow it out. Unless I run into more problems, that is. I'm not exactly sure where that head is at, so I'm going to do a little exploratory right there with this thing. So if I do damage it, it'll be very minor. And there's bone right there, that little brown spot. So now it's just a matter of expanding that and expanding that with these two tools. I'll get some rock out of the way though, if you don't mind. So I glued a bunch of stuff here, so I'm just letting that do its thing. I thought I'd take some rock off here. Then this piece came loose, and this piece came loose, and it looks like they're sitting right on the fish. So these pieces have got me quite worried. Right there, this whole thing's falling apart here. The thing is, if that's all loose, how's the fish underneath? That's what concerns me. Oh, it's always a heart attack moment. Oh, freaking beautiful. Jesus. That's freaking gorgeous. I mean, it looks like an absolute mess right now, but that's freaking gorgeous if you ask me. Okay, 2 more pieces just popped loose, so let me get some different Opti visors on you. Those bring me too close. Put on my Opti visors number 5. Yeah, there's some bone on that piece. Not much on that one. This one I'm going to want to keep. Put that up here in a safe spot so I can forget it. That's actually pretty damn nice. I mean, pretty dang nice. Sorry about that. Pretty dang nice. You betcha. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fixing stuff, but once it's said and done and in a frame and hang on the wall, it's going to look absolutely freaking gorgeous. Lots of times when I'm getting these things started, prepping and chipping away, this is what it looks like. It looks like an absolute freaking mess. So the wife comes out and goes, "Boy, that sure is looking good." I said, "You've got to be kidding me, honey. It looks like a piece of," I won't say it, but it starts with an S and ends with a T. She goes, "Yes, it does, but I didn't want to say it." But I'm not kidding. This is going to be a nice looking fish when it's all done. How many times will I say that before this video is over? I should be able to get this cleaned up, maybe this. Whether I can get to the head part or not, I don't know. But what kind of problems I'll run into again today, who knows? Time will tell. Whew. Okay, there's a nice good hour of work. I think I only stopped and glued once. No, twice. I don't know if you can see this mess right here, but this is what I put on, all this material here. And for this one, well, I'll have to look at it again, but it's got problems down here where the body of the fish meets the rock. There's some cave-ins here. Things that gotta be cleaned up and fixed. But by golly, I'm getting somewhere. I may take this down over here and follow this outline up to the head and then do this. This kind of scares me. This might be a little fragile, I'm not sure, but it's all scary. What am I saying? It's a fun scary though. Boy, oh boy, that was a lot of rock to remove. That's 2 inches of rock. Anybody who's removed rock knows exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't done it, believe me, it's a job. Especially when you have a beat up shoulder such as mine, but gotta quit complaining and get back to work. Since this head was in 2 pieces and I don't know what they're supposed to look like really, this close up anyways, I decided to do this head area and get that kind of exposed and hope it's in good shape. He promises me it's in good shape, but heck, I don't know. I'd like to know. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some glue right there because I saw some bone wiggling. Don't like wiggling bone. Okay, I don't know if you can see this or not, but this crack right here, which has got glue in it, this is where things will get interesting. Plus I got to fight through this glue to get past that area and just see what kind of head's going to be on here. Of course it's going to take me an hour or 2 or 3, depending on how many problems I run into, but it's going to be interesting. Hopefully a good interesting, and hopefully not a heart attack or an oh my god interesting. Don't need none of those. It's almost nerve-wracking, but it's coming out so far. It's coming off pretty good. You can see the glue here. Let me zoom in there so you can see what the heck I'm looking at. This is the glue left over from when that piece met that piece, and that's the leftover glue, which is actually coming off quite nice. Easier than usual, which is, I'll take that any day. Okay, a good prep today. I didn't get to this today, but that's fine. And the thing is, starting tomorrow, it starts to warm up. By the end of the middle of next week, we're going to be well into the 90s. So I'm going to put this away till I don't know when. Maybe fall, maybe winter, I don't know. And I got a bunch of abrasive work to do on all different kinds of other stuff. So, say goodbye to this for a while, but I've got a good dent in it. This head is turning out to be a real pain in the you-know-what. Much harder than I'd anticipated. And I don't know what this is. I'll try to pedestal it and see what it might be if it goes down anything, but I think it's just a piece of this fish. Almost looks like a tooth, but shape of an arrowhead. Pretty weird. Anyways, I'm fighting glue everywhere here. Just everywhere. Figures. As soon as I turned the camera on, that piece came off as easy as pie. Oh well, maybe I'll turn the camera on more often. Just one little teeny tiny area at a time. We just keep going. So this head will take hours. I can't believe it. That's not the same thing. I'm right off. Jesus. What the hell is that? Well, that little spot there was half an hour at least, but it's getting there. I was thinking the skull was ending before this gray spot here, but God, now I'm beginning to wonder, because the end of the rock underneath there stops right there. Oh man, this could be close. I'm gonna probably build this out, but there's so many different stuff going on here, so many different things. That could be a tough rebuild or tough rock add-on. I don't know what you would call that. Anyways, I'm going to take the big machine and I'll just show you. Luckily, it's still... rocks are heavy. Oh, I need to go find a... Should have found a hobby that had to do with styrofoam. And then I'll take all that rock off with this. But if it comes off like it did there, maybe 10-15 minutes at most. But if it comes off like this stuff, oh geez, that's half an hour there at least. A lot of rock removal with this. Clean up with this. I don't stop and turn the camera on every time I glue, otherwise I'd be turning the camera on, maybe not constantly, but an awfully lot. But I do stop and glue to save as much as I can. At least I can say I tried. But I've stopped and glued at least 30 times around here just to save what I can. The thing is, way up on the ceiling, I mean not the ceiling, way up on the wall, all framed up, no one's going to look at these little tiny spots, but I'll sleep better. Oh boy, this is getting exciting. This is the lower jaw, this is the upper jaw. I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's just a row of little teeny tiny teeth there. I'm hopefully going to have some exposed here and some exposed there, but not with this monster tool. But I got to work on this lower jaw, and then I can work on the pectoral fin. A little bit crushed, but man, that is so freaking cool. Oh, loving this fish, just freaking loving it. I mean, it looks like crap right now, but when I'm all done with it and it's framed up and hanging on the wall, it's gonna look freaking gorgeous. So I'm working this rock, this line here, back this way. As you can see, I've taken off this rock right there, and this goes all the way down here. I can see now how this part of the belly's been rotted or something, but it's one of the coolest fish I've done. So I'm going to take this down to here, and somewhere around here, when I take all this rock down on these sides here, I should be finding the rest of this pectoral fin, which should be quite spectacular. Right there with the blade joint. So I put this rock on top of this big one. Empty spot right there, a little cave in from when this rock went on top. It's okay, anything can be fixed. I'm taking off some of this rock. It looks like it's glued there, which I don't remember why, but I kept meaning to take a picture of this from my computer of the stuff before I glued this on, so I could see what's going on and put it on my phone and bring it out here, but I don't. I always forget. More glue? Taking off lots of rock, but as soon as I run into some of these things coming down, these pectoral fin, it's going to drastically slow down. Okay, I took off a little piece of rock here because I know there's more of these pectoral type fins coming down, and I see this cave, so I put this paper in there I'm going to put a pencil mark there and pull it out. That's quite the cave. So whether it's going to create a problem or not, I don't know, but I'm going to take this off and just see what happens. Okay, and there's the leading edge of another one. And this one might go underneath the rock, I don't know. It's pretty iffy stuff, that's for sure, but I know there's stuff there, that's the thing. This glue is a mother. That came off pretty good for glue, but if you just take your time, I mean your sweet you know what time, little tiny pieces at a time, and it should come off. Doesn't always, but at least that came out pretty nice, or came off pretty nice. So back to work, folks. Man, this is really causing some problems. This just caved in. Pieces went flying, and you can see right there there's missing shell. But I can't find it. Where oh, there it is. Okay, that goes right there. That little brown spot goes right there, but that's not even worth trying because it's already missing some. So I gotta rebuild that or paint it in or something. But this cave-in spot, what a joke that's turning out to be. That's gonna take some repair, that one. Anyways, let's get back to work. Almost scary. Oh, that worked out pretty good though. That worked out pretty good. I like that. Taking off big chunks can be scary. Oh, that worked out pretty good. Working out pretty good. Okay, so, oh, see, you can see I lost a little bit of bone there. But you can now also see that, you can see this line right here. That line is what's was on the bottom of the rock that was glued on, even though it went farther that way. But you can see that from there to there, two different pieces. This is the piece I glued back on. Of course, the upper piece, I don't even know how to explain that, but this was glued on from here to there. Anyways, I want to put a little glue on that just to help hold that in place. That kind of worries me, so I will be back. This is in rougher shape than I thought. A little bit of glue, not much. And the reason I'm doing so much video of this is the reason I bought this fish. I had no idea how cool these jaws were going to be, but this really was exciting for me. And you know, all these pectoral fins coming down, which seem to be separate, but there's a group on each side of the fish when it was swimming. So these lower ones are possibly from the other side, because it looks like they go right underneath the fish there. So doing this is going to take a bit of time. And then, of course, however much cleanup and repair and paint and putty, I don't know, whatever it takes, I'm going to do or try to do. Alright, you want to see something scary? This fin right here, which is missing a bunch of bone here, the leading edge is right here, but it's attached to this rock, not the bottom rock. So as much as I'm afraid to do this, I'm going to fill that with some glue. Not just any glue, but super glue. And there it's going to sit till tomorrow, or whenever I get back to this. But I'm going to try to save that leading edge. I can always get rid of it if I have to, because of glue, but this kind of gives me an option anyways. Okay, while that other piece is curing for a day or more, I gotta finish this guy right here. At least try to. It sounds like something loose. Coming off so beautifully. I mean, it still needs to be cleaned up, but that's coming off beautifully. Alright, let's finish this baby. I've noticed that there's rock loose from here to here. And I see this here, so if this works out, it's great. If not, well, repair. Get a load of that. I don't know if that's bravery or stupidity, but that worked out pretty dang good. Liking that, you betcha. This next little tiny chunk, all of a sudden it gets sticky. Yeah, that's just... There's no preparator in the world that likes sticky. Anyways, that's going to take my Optivisor number 10 to finish that up with what I call the whiner, the European tool, much smaller tool than this. Then I'll clean it up. But for now, I'm going to go over here and finish that up and see how that's going to turn out. Okay, this has got to be cleaned up, or at least until I find a problem I have to glue. That's going to be in the way. So let's just see what happens. Bunch of rocks got to come off of that, and I'll be done. Man, that's some hard rock. Jesus. I'm going to put some glue in there just to keep that from flying. In fact, I think I'll use a little bit of this stuff. Whoa, mama. It happens. I'm not too worried, just more glue to fight. Nothing new there. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see. Man, that's one ugly area. I even put more glue in there. Two different kinds now. Both the super glue and the Gliptol that I use. Man, what a mess. That's definitely have to be a fix-it job there. What's going on? Man, that's a tough area. Jeepers. I can't see how these go any farther, but God, they must. Ah, geez, it's always something. Oh well, I'm just gonna keep on working. Ah, looky there, found them. That was some tough going there. Not fighting glue, it's a little bit easier, that's for dang sure. Baby. Making some good progress, but now I run into some glue again right here. But to be expected really, but look at that, it's not looking too bad, eh? Well, I mean, it looks like a freaking mess, but at least I'm getting down to some fish. I'm going to finish up this area here and call it quits. Just like that. I mean, that's a lot of cleanup, but that's all part of the process. Okay, you can see plainly from here, if you follow this, all this was one piece of rock, so all of this has been reattached to the fish, and slightly smaller or thinner piece, but I'll do the same with that tomorrow or whenever I get to it. But you can see that's got a lot of cleanup, but that's going to look pretty nice. What I'm going to do up here and how I'm going to take this piece of rock here and transition it to this layer, I don't know yet. Figure that out hopefully when I get to it. Now I'm wishing I didn't cut that piece of rock off, but I don't know. So the more I was coming down here, I could see that I cut this rock here, this piece that's glued on here and this one here, too much. It absolutely hurts. Anyways, this piece here just came off, and it's got some fin stuff on it. So I'm going to glue that back on, and I'll just have to fight the glue. That's all there is to it. So there's some of the thick stuff. I'm also going to put some thin stuff in there, just for good luck. Oh Jesus, come on, Ronald. It's a lot of glue, but that's a bad spot. Alright, now I'm done. Alright. There'll be a lot of repair on this fish, or at least in certain areas, but once it's all done and framed and up on the wall, it's going to look pretty dang nice. Okay, today is the day I take off this huge chunk of rock. It's going to take a lot of work. I've been dreading it. I had to roll this around in my head I don't know how many times because it's all natural the way it broke, but I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. So I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm going to sand it and grind it smooth and, I don't know, call it good, I guess. But I've drawn a line about where I want to go. I'm going to go just above that line and take it off all this rock here, all that. So I'm going to use the Paleo Tool Super Jack. Should probably sharpen that. So this is going to take some time. So far that's going about 50 times faster than I thought it would. This is great. So I carved this line right here. I don't want to go any lower than that with this tool. So now I can go start from this side where I've got this line and hopefully take it to this line. That's the plan anyways. Hope it works. Sometimes it doesn't. That's far from perfect, but man, that's coming off just so fast. Not a very good layer though, so I'm gonna have to work at it, but that's fine. I don't care. Oh man, look at this. Started to crack and then popped. It just popped. I just hope it pops straight. That way, of course. Yeah, not bad. I might have to save this. So put that up there for now, but look at that. Oh, that took a lot of weight off. Now I gotta take it outside and take the big grinder of this and... Oh, I still gotta do this piece first. Okay, never mind. Alright, got more work to do. Okay, with this head going up at a slight angle there. Not sure what to do about that, but I'm gonna take it outside and do it grinding I can. Bring it in, look at it again, take it out again, I don't know, whatever it takes I guess. I just hope I don't hit the fish. That grinder is, ugh. That doesn't make this little boo-boo, that destroys. Here's crossing fingers, holy moly. Alright. Dust mask on. Safety glasses on. Let's hope I don't slip. that's basically it. So, back inside, boy, I can't believe how much lighter that rock is. That's the rock now. I don't know if you can see that or not. Much better. I mean, it's been tooled. I'm liking that much better than that big glob of rock. And here's basically, besides what I've took down here, that's basically how thick the rock was. It's just a ton of freaking rock. Just a freaking ton. So anyways, and I like that. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. I could have filled all that in and sanded, but I'm not going to. Alright, so I think the next part for this is I got to build rock from here to here so I can square that up and put it in a frame. And with all these different pieces of rock, that's going to be difficult. I don't know if I should just cut it and put over a piece of rock there or try to fit a bunch of pieces in. I'll figure it out when the time comes. I figured I might as well do this rock too. This rock butts up to the other one, obviously. This is the tail end of the fish. Drawed me a line. I have to go just below that line apparently. Okay, I've got a long ways to go, so I won't bore you with that. Looky there. Looks man-made there, but it'll match the other side now. Plus I took off a lot of rock. And I found me another fish. Little guy, mouth wide open, just nicked his little lower jaw. But away it goes. I think while I got this out here, I'll remove this bit of rock. Don't know what to do here yet, but I'll figure that out when time comes. Alright, there's the gist of it. You can see how this was put back on, this was put back on. It's not the best, but at least it's there. What am I going to do with that edge? I might have to putty that edge, I don't know yet. Anyways, I'm going to go up here and mess with this little tiny fish. I mean, why not? Look at that, came right off. Wish the whole fish, this whole big fish you did that with, but hey, that's the way it is. Alright. Okay, I've been pondering this now for quite a while, but I don't have a lot of big pieces of rock. I have tons of small pieces, but I'm thinking of maybe putting this right, well, you know, down here obviously, but that'll give me a little extra spot or room for that nose for when the frame goes on. So that's going to be it. I don't know if I'm extremely brave or not too smart. But lines are drawn now. Too late to go back now. Ah, boy, that's going to be a job. But Thing is, no one's going to notice that when it's all framed up and done and hanging on a wall. They're going to be looking at the fish. But it gives me something to worry about. So, there's the piece that's going on there. I mean, I'm going to have to square it up later, but just want to get it in there, get it on there for now. And then, of course, I'll shape this. I got to fill this in, and then shape this to fit the rest of this rock. It won't look perfect, but at least it'll look better. And the frame will be way the heck out here somewhere instead of right here, right in front of the nose. Yeah, I hate that. Sorry. Anyways, bunch of glue. And I don't care if it drips everywhere. Well, I do. Which is why this plastic is here. So that goes like so. And then this goes, give me some room around here. This goes like so. And then this one, I've got a piece of wood down here to go out farther than the fish is, because I don't want to accidentally chip off a piece of the fish. That would be some bad Scooby. So this one would go like and then tomorrow, the next day, I'll cut this. I'll cut that, and then square it up and cut that. It's one project, or only one piece of the project, out of the way. Fit right there. Yeah, that's the ticket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this layer to here, and then transfer this line onto this rock. It's almost not big enough, is it? Anyway, I will figure it out. What I'm going to do now first is take off this rock right here. That's my plan. First I got to clean up. That's not perfect, but that'll certainly get me started. Now I take that out there and make some cut. Okay, I just made that cut. So that goes like so. Now I gotta somehow transfer that onto this. So for me, this is just a bunch of guesswork. Might just leave that there, that little spot there for that spot. I line this piece of paper up with this edge here, And then I made this cut here to simulate that rock, or the edge of that rock. And this is where I really need dirty. If I can like so. Now I'm going to cut that, bring it back in here, and start shaping with the sander and whatever tools I can utilize. Got lots of fitting to do. So far got the gist of it. So I got the sander right behind me over here. I'm going to go back and forth from the sander to here, the sander to here, you know, whatever, probably 50 times, in order to get this to fit, or at least to get this rock to fit as nice, or somewhat nicely, to this rock. That's the plan anyway. Okay, slightly better fit. Now I'm going to start taking a pencil and marking places that definitely got to come off, because there's a big gap right here. Better fit. Not looking too shabby. Take off a little bit right. Alright, a little bit of the thicker viscosity super glue in all the right places, mind you. I'll even put some on this edge. I mean, why not? Like so. Put that into place. Just make that snug, and there you go. Now then, once that's dry, now I can cut this stuff off and start working on this. I could probably do some work now, what the heck. Okay, there's the lines for it to be nice and square for a frame. And look at all that I have in front of the snout. That's going to be nice, because I need about 1/2 inch for a frame. Or before 1/2 inch. Well, that couldn't even have been squared up, so I'm not even going to go there. Anyways, so much better, especially when I clean it up. All nice and square now, or a lot better than it was. Plus I got all this, that's what I really liked, all that room in front of the nose. So when I was out there cutting this, I also ground all this down, so this is all basically the same level. Now once I fix all these cracks and stuff, then I'll grind down the rest real nice and softly, and that's going to hide pretty much everything. And then once it's in a frame, no one will know the difference, kinda. Since all this is original rock, this is not original. This is original, but it came from up here. Instead of filling this in, I'm going to just carve this down so I can leave it with just rock and not two-part epoxy putty stuff. There. See how much nicer that looks? Just by softening those corners, those sharp edges. Not done, but I'm going to fill all this in so the next time I grind, that'll be the same tool marks as the rock. That's my plan. Looking better already. These areas that I know that are going to be sanded, I just left a little bit high. And some of these areas which aren't going to be sandy because they're a little bit low, I'm just going to take a little bit of water on this applicator and just smooth those out just a little bit. And no, water does not hurt this stuff. Not one iota. There, when that's cured, I can do more work with that, but I'm almost happy with that. This looks pretty dark, but hopefully once it's tooled with the grinder, it won't be near as dark. That's fingers crossed. Not everything I do works out, that's for dang sure. And there you have it. Far from perfect, but that's so much better than it was. You know, compared to all that blob of rock and whatnot, and missing rock and filling in rock and stuff. At least now it's all one level, basically. So that's it for that. So this thing, you can see this crack right here. This is what I thought was going to be the rest of these fins, but there's barely anything left. And then cleaning up this rock around it, it's caving in here. It's just a freaking mess, God. This fin is pretty much gone here. I think I'm gonna just rebuild this one. I may do some acrylic work here to make it look better. I don't know. I'll wait till I get there and attack that problem when my concentration is just nothing but right there. Anyways, I'm going to finish up this cleanup right here. And even though it looks terrible, the rock, once I wash it a few times, it won't look right. You can see how messy this is. It looks to me like this is part of one of these fins. In really bad shape, but a little tender loving care, I might be able to make this look alright. That's glue. Where this rock was glued onto this rock, oh, and there's glue there. It's just a pain in the you-know-what. Frickin' glue. Man, that's gonna be tough. But I've got to do the best that I can. Man, I don't know what's going on here. It's gotta be glue, but it's just so weird. I mean, look at that stuff. It's not rock, it's not glue, I don't know what it is. Never experienced this. Oh man, look at that, taking bone with it. Jesus. What a freaking mess. That's just bizarre. Bizarre. Okay, I've decided to take some rock off the back of these big slabs. For one, to fit them down, make them fit in a frame a little easier, and two, to get rid of weight, and three, because it's got to be done. I simply took a thin piece of wood. This is a paint stirrer. Put it on the thing and took a pencil and just marked all the way around both pieces. So I've got this line here. It's not exact, but it's close enough. Might want to redo that one. That's pretty close. But I'm gonna go outside and set up and start grinding these down to this line, and call it a day, because that's gonna be one dirty, dusty job. I just hate it. That took off more rocks than I thought. Alright, I'm going to give this entire thing a wash. This one too. Then it can dry, and I got a little bit more prep to do on each one of these, but this is almost get ready to glue together and put on a backer board. That's going to be pretty exciting. I really like this fish. That's going to be a glue edge. We got to glue pieces onto, so I want that nice and clean. And even though this isn't that dirty, I want it nice and clean, because it's going to be glued onto backer board with some silicone. Oh, that's dirtier than I thought. Look at that, jeez. It's just filthy. Just filthy. But after the third wash, it won't be very filthy. I'm not worried about the front. That's going to all be cleaned up when I put all this together and do all the cracks, give it a final wash job, and all that good stuff. There, that's nice and clean. I don't care what anybody says. Well, I do. That's about as good as I can get that part of a tail. I might do a little bit of acrylic work on here. I don't know yet. But man, that last 3/4 of an inch was some sticky crap. I mean stuff. Sorry about that. is a freaking nightmare. Jesus. Alright, turn this around. I uncovered that. I stopped and glued. That's right, more glue. Different type of glue though. Okay, very nice to find that. Gonna have to do a little bit of doctoring. I can only do so much because some of the stuff is just, you can see where it just fell apart after it died. But I can make it look better than that, that's for dang sure. Anyways, I'm gonna get rid of this right here. Man, that glue is a mother. I guess that's the way of cussing without really cussing, I guess. Okay, I'm going to put some glue there, and that's probably going to be it for the day. But overall, that little bit there took, oh, geez, I don't know, a couple of hours worth of work. Okay, Starbond gap filler. I'm going to glue these two rocks together. I'm going to get this out of the way first. Jesus, Ronald. I got this plastic bag so that I don't glue this rock to the table. But it's going to go just like that. Look at the size of that fish. Jesus. Now you're starting to see why I call it the torpedo fish. So once I get all this together and then all this together, I've got these pieces to fix. You can see that goes right there. That's the bottom of the fish. Okay, that was actually kind of tricky. I had to raise this piece of rock here with this shim, and I had to raise this piece of rock over here with this shim. It had kind of a tilty to it. But now that's right on, and that's right on. So that's got to sit for at least 24 hours before I can actually get these pieces on, which, as you can plainly see, go right there. Okay, 24 hours. Took the clamps off. I also went ahead and glued this little piece on right here yesterday just for good measure. But I dry fitted this really good, and up here it just wasn't fitting quite right, so I looked real closely, and when I had glued this piece of rock on, there was some glue that dribbled onto that piece of rock, and it's this piece of rock here that needs to glue onto there. And so I took my air scribe, you can see the little air scribe marks, took that glue off, and now it fits really good. I don't usually glue up by top, but being I don't have as much surface to put glue on, I'm gluing everything. I'll have to clean up glue, but that's just the way it is. So, luckily I've got these bones to go by. Like so. And I've got this shrimp to go by. Need a bigger table. Right there. Then I was really thinking I would have had these clamps ready to go, but at least you can manage these clamps. Okay, just slightly, just a little bit. Once I clamp this on, I'm going to check. The better I glue this one, actually it's hard to say if these two pieces here are glued right so that there's no tilting or nothing, and I won't know until I get these next pieces on. But this one's important, and it looks really good there, really good. You can see how there's missing rock here. I'm not going to touch that glue. I used to wipe glue off, and all I would do is smear it onto the rock, where that's easier to come off, or easier only because there's a bit of glue to come off with an air scribe, but you do mark up the rock, just not as much. I'd say that's pretty good. Alright, next piece will be this. I don't know if I'll do that today or when. Oh, wonderful. That piece of rock is missing. It's always something. That looks pretty good. Man, that sucks that piece of rock is missing. There's a little piece of fish that was on there, it looks like. I'll have to build that up or something. There's always fix-it spots on a job. Anyway. Ta-da! That's 1, 2, 3. That's 5 of my slider clamps. Oh, and look at this crab concretion. A guy by the name of Jeff sent this to me. He watches a lot of my videos and said that I've taught him a lot. So he sent me a crab concretion. This one's from Indonesia. How nice is that? What a guy. Jeff, if you're watching this, thanks, man. Time to get this onto this backer board. So, I'm simply going to lift it up. Oh, jeez, that's heavy. I just feel better with those there. Then I'm going to put some here because I can see it. Boy, you don't know what silicone smells like until you put on tons of it. And when this is all set and cured and whatnot, I'm going to put some more here. It will go absolutely nowhere. And that one is now empty. Now then, oh Jesus. Oh, that's a heavy mofo. Yes, it is. Oh, jeez, that stinks. Put it kind of where I want it, so it's. I'll trim up all these edges when this is all cured. So now I'm going to get some weight and put a bunch of weight on that. I just happen to have some rocks around. And now there's a bunch of weight pressing down on that, so that's good. And look, all it is here is more slabs of rock with fish in them. This fish had a snail in it, but this fish is gone. But still, dang cool rock. Hopefully I'll get to those someday. I got more dang fish than I know what to do with. Okay, that's got to cure for at least 24 hours. I'm probably going to give it 48 hours. And here it is. Been sitting for 2 days. So, take all the weight off of it. Oh, Jesus. Why are rocks so freaking heavy? Oh, look at that fish.
I just pick a spot and sit down there, and then the teeth will follow the ball. So, like, half the time they're like right in the way. So I only stay with the wife.
And that is now stuck onto the back of the board. I don't know if you can see this whole fish or not, but the tail's got a good 3.5 inches, 2.5 inches. So I gotta cut an inch off of this back just to balance it out. So I'm going to take this and this little marker here.
So if you leave on a Monday, the whole first day is you guys ride it, and then if you leave Friday,
Try to find which side is the.
3 days. So I told the guys we're staying at least till Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday the following week.
I'm gonna say right there.
Right. I should make it go and hang out with you. I'll make that for the last few days or so.
And my son's here, so I'll have that cut. And that'll be ready to finish up. I got this to finish up, this to finish up. There's another piece I got to glue on. I forget where it goes. I think right here. And then a lot of repairing. And this bothers me. I've lost sleep over that. So I'm probably going to fill that in because that's just a bunch of mystery. Okay, I took that down from a pretty thick piece of rock, and there's one over here that I'm going to attack next. There. Now I'm going to start taking the rock off and see what I've got left of this fish underneath there. Then I'm going to go that away and do that one. That wasn't good. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a lot of fish and fin bones there. That's got to be glued back on. That's going to have to cure for 24 hours, blah, blah. You know the story. Some thick super glue. Now if I can do this without messing up. I gotta use my other hand. That one's not too steady. Then as I press down, okay, I will attack that another day. I'm gonna go that away and attack that one that's on the tail end. Okay, so far it's working. There's some tail end right there. Whew, that takes some concentration for this guy. Jeez. That's come out pretty nice. A little bit of glue left here, but I'll fight what I have to. I've got part of this piece, but only part, and well, I'll talk about that one later. That's going to be really iffy. Anyways, back to work. Did a little more work here. Boy, that's hard. You can see where it's browner. That turns gray here. That gray is hard. I've had to sharpen my tip twice already just because of that little tiny spot. This one is drying. Way over there, I ran into trouble with the tail, so I put some glue there that has to dry. So what I've done is I've hooked up my Super Jack. Give it a quick dusting. This spot here is just horrible. So this rock, which came off of here somewhere, I don't remember where. Actually, it came off right there. And this is the thickest spot. This is the thickest spot. So I'm going to lay that down roughly like so. And then take my pencil . I'm going to take this outside, cut this off, bring this back, and then, I don't know, somehow get that in there. It's going to be tough. Okay, made that cut, saved all my pieces. And then it's got to somehow fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this chisel scribe and just start shaping it so it fits the bottom, or fits in there better. This rock still has to come down a little bit in order to match this rock, so wow, that's almost a quarter of an inch there. So I got to make sure it fits down below that. So I'm going to just start shaping and stuff and hopefully get it into place today. So I'd lay that in there and I'd just wiggle the you know what out of it. Then I'd look up here and find out where the marks were being made on those wiggles. And so I just kept taking rock off. And I think now I've got that where I can get rid of this monstrous freaking Grand Canyon. This won't be anything close to perfect, but I can fill that with 2-part putty or something. But I'm going to glue that right there, let it cure for 2 days, a week, whatever. And then I'm going to take my grinder and grind from here over to here. I hope I don't ruin that fish, but I probably will. It's all messed up anyways. So, I'm going to start gluing. Why not? Glue every one of these contact points. And fill that with glue. There we go. I might pick this up tomorrow or the next day and just pour more glue in there just to hold that, because that's going to have to hold a lot of that grinding is Okay, that's it for now. That's going to take care of at least most of that problem. Then after I grind that, then I'll have more fixing up to do, but that's going to make a whole heck of a huge difference. Alright, Alright, took this out there to outside this morning, ground all that down, broke here, was only glued as one little spot, so I didn't read that very good. So I'm going to kind of rebuild that with some rock. I saved all these chips, so I'm going to try to fit these chips, or what chips I can use, into here and glue it all up, and then hit that tomorrow, and then fill all this in with putty or something, and shouldn't look too bad, I hope. So let's get to work. I thought I'd just rebuild that with some rock by filling in the rougher areas with some homemade powdered rock. So I just crunch it up, pour it into place. Like them so, spread it around the way I like it, or hopefully like it anyways, and I don't know, call it good. It's not going to be perfect, it looks uglier than sin right now, but then I'm just going to take some super glue, some cyanoacrylate, and just soak the you-know-what out of it. Try not to get it where you don't want it though. Gotta try to be careful, I guess. And then tomorrow, the next day, I'll grind that down and then I'll fix what's left. I'll show you. Well, I'll show you what I do. This is what I'm doing. Hopefully it'll look better than putty. I don't know for sure, but it shouldn't look too bad. Oh, Jesus, Ronald. Dipwad. Okay. Ta-da! Grind it down tomorrow next day. Okay, well that's curing. Let's see if this, what I did 2 days ago, will come off nice and clean. There it is. Okay, gonna be some fixing in there, but some fixing to be done. But there's fixing really. You look at this fish, there's it's all over the place, all over the place. But look at that fish. Well, you can't see it all right now. You'll get a load of that. I just hope it's all there. Obviously missing here, but I'm gonna have to rebuild a little bit of this. Time-consuming stuff, but it's what I like to do. Well, come on. I'm like, put this little piece on. I want to attack it from that angle, but then you can't see what I'm doing, so it gets kind of difficult. So, goodbye, folks. Okay, this is actually in kind of bad shape, but I can, once I fixed all this up, it shouldn't look, hopefully not too bad. But right now I'm just trying to take off this little bit of rock very carefully. Wow, that's gonna take some repair, but I expected that. Wow, it's just repair everywhere. Okay, now I'm gonna go see if I can work on this tail. That's now you can see this tail end pretty good. So I'm missing all this stuff. I do have this piece, but I can't find out how it goes on there. Oh well, I'll keep trying, but I'll do that later. Right now I'm gonna try to find the end of this tail end here. The bottom part of the tail. This, I guess that's ventral part and dorsal part, I don't know. Wow. Alright, I gotta go get, these are my Optivisors number 5. I'm gonna go get my Optivisors number 10, which means I'm gonna be right on top of this thing. Hopefully you can see this. still got to clean that up, but I'll use a smaller tool for that. But I'll get just the tops of these things to the end. That takes some concentration for this old guy. Okay, ran into a problem. When this rock came off of whatever, they had the bottom rock, this piece was missing. How far it goes that way, I don't know, but that was heart sinking. Anyways, I stopped, I glued that twice, put some accelerator on it, and I'm going to wait for that to cure. So that's just gonna stay like that for a day or two, probably for the same time I do that. So I'm gonna go back to this other fin way up here and try to finish up what I can on that and probably call it quits for the day. Okay, today on this fish, I'm going to do a bunch of these cracks, not on the fish, but on the rock. And the hard part about that is that the rock is in many colors. And this break here, it goes along right here, that's going to be a tough one. You can see how gray it is on both sides of the crack and then to the color of the rock, so that's just going to be tough. Anyways, they're just full of dust and dirt and stuff. So first of all, I'm going to do a little bit of some washing. And as you can see up above, it's just gray. So I got my mixing job ahead of me for today, that's for sure. And then the easiest way to clean these things there. Now when that's dry, those cracks will be all nice and clean to hold 2-part epoxy putty as good as possible. So, and also I've got this, not just to clean these, this big Super Jack from Paleo Tools, one of my favorite tools. This rock comes right up through here, and then there's a big step there. So being this is going to be framed, I'm going to draw a line here and just chip that off with this, just to bring that spot down a little bit. I don't want to have to grind anything that I don't have to. As you can tell, I grinded all of this. That's going to be in the video. It's been so long since I've worked on this fish, I forget what I've done. And I just go on a blabbering. But I got work to do. Okay, brought the camera a little closer. So I've got part A and part B of 2-part epoxy. Gonna mix those together. And even though there's so many colors here in this rock, first what I'm going to do is this lighter colored stuff, which is here, but like I say, this gray stuff on each side of that crack is just I don't know how it's going to look. So I'm going to use what's called Tan Buck. It's a masonry powder, and hope you have strong hands, because this can get tough on the hand muscles, especially when it's cold. But I keep this putty inside the house, so it's not so bad. And as you can see, that's already starting to change color quite nicely, from gray to this yellowishy, orangey kind of. Well, I hope I didn't add too much. Looks like I added too much. Yeah, that's too much. Dang it. So what I do when I add too much, because I don't want to waste what I got, is I'll just take some more of the part A and part B. Oh, that's stuff is some sticky stuff, that one. roughly the same size. Those are roughly the same size. That would have been more impressive if I could have just added a coloring and it would have come out just right. So I'm going to take half that color and add it to the two new balls of 2-part putty and see what happens. And when you've got lots of colors to do, it can be a lot of mixing. Very sore on the hands. Geez, that might still be too much. Doesn't look too bad. Well, that's just going to be impossible color. Anyway, ow! Ow! I don't have any feeling in my left leg, but I can certainly feel pain in the left leg. Jesus. Okay, back to work. So, oh man, I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, I ran over to the cupboard and got me some yellow ochre. Put that in there. That brought that around quite nicely. So all I do, I bring that to a point, stuff that in the crack, and then push it in with my applicator tool. I got the bigger one and the smaller one. Of course, that's got color on it now, but I just ripped my glove. Don't know if I like that or not. The way I make that right is I just tell everybody, well, it adds character to the rock. But in reality, just filling those cracks makes them somewhat disappear, even though it's not perfect. Now I'll go back with some water. In fact, I'll do that right now. Put some water on this tool and just press hard, like so. Come by and gently pick up the excess, and then you can take this is just a piece of a kitchen sponge I cut out with a fork. I mean, a pair of scissors, a fork I'm talking about, and that kind of sands it. Like so. And then I'll take some of my leb dust, which is just some Lebanese rock. I put it with a port pestle and mortar and turn into a powder. It might be a little bit light for that powder, but it definitely adds texture. Now that's going to look extremely messy. But once that's dry and I come back and clean that up, maybe again with a cleaner thing, that's going to look not too bad. But I got to do that to everything. Looking better already. I'm gonna have to do a little finagling here to make this fin right, but at least it's filled, right? Right. Okay, back to work. Okay, had to make some grays over here. Those will darken up as they dry and cure and stuff. But I had gray to brown, so whatever. That's it for all the cracks on the rock, the stuff on the fish and the tail, and stuff in here. I'm waiting for some new base putty. Base meaning that it starts out fairly dark in the first place. And I can add whatever I want to it and bring out hopefully whatever color I want. And then of course the acrylic work, but that's down the road a ways. But I'm getting there. Alright. Before I call it quits for the day, I'm going to take down this rock a little bit and hope it works out. To work it, clean that up a little bit, brought it down a little bit, but don't like those tool marks. But of course there's going to be roughly ½ an inch of a frame covering that, so no one's going to even see it. Okay, that stuff's been curing for almost 24 hours. So what I need to do is get us a good wash, and then I'm going to take this, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's just a file is what it is, a very small one, but it's great for tooling this two-part epoxy to make it look more like rock. First, whoop, Jesus, Ronald, for God's sake. Sorry about that, everybody. Holy moly. Alright, get this thing caught the strap to the camera. So, a little bit of a wash. Like so, and then a little bit of a dry, like so, and then when that's dry, I'll start tooling all these places where I put in the two-part putty and make that look a little better. Getting there though. So now that that's dry, you can plainly see that is the putty where I put the putty is too dark. So I take this little file thing and I simply tool it. Pretty simple, really. But you see how that looks a whole lot nicer than that darker stuff. And since it's not on the fish, no one's really even going to see it. That's all I do. Pretty simple, really. Okay, I've got a bit more work to do on the tips of these tail ends. Tomorrow I've got some dark putty coming, so I'm going to try to attack this and parts of this fish, finish that up. But this is a tool from Zilk. Nice little tool, but I absolutely hate, and I mean I hate, the hose on these things. Just hate it with a passion. Otherwise it'd be a grade A tool. Okay, so this is called the whiner for a reason. Tool. I'm fighting glue there from this piece being glued back down. Alright, this is the ME 9100 from Paleo Tools, but look at this beautiful hose. It just goes wherever you want. Love this tool. This is my favorite tool for prepping of all time. If I can do this. That's not good. So where I glued this rock back on down to that rock, it's just caving in, just like it caved in there. I'm not going to fix it. That's kind of a tough fix. So delicate. But it is what it is. That just kept caving in, so I stopped. I glued that twice. I glued that again for good luck. So that's just going to have to sit there and cure. So I'm going to work on this area, clean this up a little bit. I gotta turn the whole fish around so I can take this edge down to this rock to make that edge disappear a little bit. See, it's still got to be cleaned up, but I'll do this whole thing, but I can't do all of it until I get this tail finished up. Okay, it's been about 4 weeks. Won't get into that reason, but it's about time I fix the stuff on this fish. Little tiny stuff, bigger stuff, holes and stuff. And the last thing I'm going to do is try to fill in this piece of missing tail. See if I can glue that on or put that on or something. I got 3 different types of 2-part epoxy putties. This is Vicky-Tim. Never used it. Going to try it because it's dark. And that's what I'm going to use for the tail. This is Milliput. I don't really like it because it's very sticky, even after you mix it. This All Game, kind of like Antler Scope. That's actually my favorite, easiest to use, easiest to mix. Never had a problem with it. But I need the white. The light is this color that I can find comes in a gray. This is white. This is a dark, kind of a brown. So I'm going to mix up all this kind of stuff. Maybe mix them together a little bit here, a little bit there. So I have probably 5 or 6. Because you can see here I've got these orangey brownies color which goes into grays, and I've got a special tool this thing. Don't know if you can see that or not. That's what I'm going to do to make these rib lines, because the bone is actually gone and left the places where the bones sit. Now some places where the bone is at, that's good. I wish it was all like that, but it's not. But this will help to shape that a little bit. Anyways, I'm going to do a lot of mixing here. I'm not going to bore you with that. And then I'll show you when I get started or done. I'll figure that out when I get there. Alright. I basically got 4 colors. The good thing is that no matter how it turns out, you can always paint it. But, man, I can't find my other powder. Dang it. Anyways, that's too dark, but I'm going to use it anyways. Yeah. I think I'll lighten it up a bit by just taking a darker color and a lighter color and just mixing the two together and just see what the heck happens. Once it's blended, you'll know. You can see how that it's all swirly in there, different colors, the 2 different colors. Oh yeah, that's coming around a lot better. Still too light. Heck, I'll do that again. And again. And that's the thing with this stuff here. I'm constantly mixing colors. Sometimes I've ended up with, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 different colors just to try to get it to blend in so I don't have to paint it. I'm going to add a little bit of color to that if you don't mind. An orangier color. That around pretty good. I'm starting to like that. Still not right. People who can do this and get it to perfection would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's still too dark, but the way it is. I'm just going to fill this in. And you got to press, I don't know, I'd say fairly hard. Get it in there. Well, I don't know if I mixed enough. That's what you call pretty close. Don't think I mixed enough. Could use some of that dark stuff there, but I'll slide some of this lighter colored stuff, put it on top of the darker stuff. And that's kind of filled. It's not right, but it's filled. So I'll be back. Alright, I scooped that out. But I really wasn't liking it. And this color still, again, isn't perfect, but it's better than the last one. Alright, I took some of this gray, mixed in some of that lighter color, came up with this ugly ball of putty. And I'm going to somehow blend that means could use a little bit more gray. And that's a little bit, I mean a little bit. So a little bit. That's not too bad. And then to do some shaping, I just take a little bowl here. Why I didn't get the water ready, I don't know. Trying to hurry actually, because this stuff's only got 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. It just gets too hard to work with. Anyways, if you get this little tool here wet with some water, let me see if this is what I'm doing here is just trying to contour this putty with the rock. At least the best as I can. You guys can probably do it better than I can, but I do my best. And when you're kind of happy with it, put in some little rib spots here. That doesn't look too bad. And then I go around, I went ahead and puttied everything. Didn't want to run out of time. Whoops. Jeez, I got too many tools sitting here. So, take this tool, let's see, way down there. I'm taking this tool and I'm just doing the same thing with the water. Trying to contour the putty. And then if I take, that's a little too dark, so if I take just a smidgen, and I mean just a smidgen of something light, yes, put a little smidge on there. Still not right, but it's probably going to be the best I can do. Best I can do, David. Sorry, just having a meltdown. Yep, I'm good at that. I have my meltdowns. Oops. Jesus. And then back down here. Up a little farther. A little farther. And shape this a little bit with some water. Again, a little bit of, I'm going to use, yeah, that's good enough, I guess, because that's kind of messy in there. So I want to kind of make the whole thing look a little messy. There, that's not too shabby. Now for the tail end. That's going to be really tough. Alright. Okay, I mixed some putty, kind of dark. I made some pencil marks, kind of where this is going to go. Put that over there. This right there. Parts of it has to be glued on, and parts of it has to be puttied. I've never done that before, so... Here goes nothing. If I can find my tool, there it is. So, oh, this is scary. So, Jesus. I'll find out tomorrow when I when I look at this. So, I'm going to put some glue on here. Put glue on the rock to help hold it. You know, leave a glue mark on the rock, but I can kind of hide that. So wow, that's hard on my arm, my hand, and then crying out loud. Oh, that's some weight. Ta-da! All right, till tomorrow. Today's over. Okay, hopefully that won't get knocked off by air scrapping. Hopefully I put it in the right spot. Well, that didn't work out too good. Jesus. Now it's worse than it was. Jesus. Oh, God. Well, I'm just going to glue it on using more glue. See what happens. Jesus. Criminies. We'll hold it. I'll do that after I'm going to do a bunch of work on the fish that way. So I got more work to do, and then that'll be the last thing I do, and then it can cure for another 24 hours. Then I'll come out here again and I'll tack that again. Up here, I don't know if you can see this or not, but right there's a bunch of glue. That's what I filled in, so I'm going to tool that. I'm going to tool this stuff here, this color here, this light brown, this light brown, this dark color, and I'll tool all that just with the edge of the stylus tip. First the glue. Over here. Now, when that dark spot there gets glued, if you like putting water on it, you can see how it darkens up a little bit. So it's not perfect, but it won't be too bad. Got 3 little brushes, all different sizes. Here's the colors I've chosen. Don't know if I'll use them all or not. I put a little dab of each onto here. I've got my water ready. got a little piece of towel ready just in case I need it. And as you can see, all these dark areas, darker over here and lighter over here, which is why I got to play with the colors. I'm going to do a little bit on these ribs, kind of get rid of that gray. I'm going to try to paint this in a little bit to hide that. And then what little work to do is here, then to glue on that piece that I messed up. So, show you what. So as you can see, this darker stuff up here going into lighter stuff, and even lighter stuff, and even lighter stuff. And then those, I don't know what I'm going to do that. Because they're so beat up, I have to make them still look beat up. Anyways, all I do is take some water, like so. Then I might need a little bit of lamp black, I don't know. So that's going to take a bit of work. So I'm going to be messing with this for an hour at least. So I won't bore you with that, but I will show you the end results. Okay, not happy with that, but I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. But this came out really good. This came out better than expected. And this, even though I had to beat it up a little bit with a kitchen scouring pad, which I also did to this, I don't know, not too bad. So that's all I'm gonna really do, I think. Except for I don't know, I'll sleep on that tonight. So I'm gonna go way over that away and glue that tail section back on. So they call this gap filler. I've just always called it thick super glue, the cyanoacrylate. So I hope this works. I don't know. I'm just going to add tons of glue and see what the heck happens. Bugger it. That's too much glue, but I don't care. And then that's where it fits. I hope. Oh boy. So there it is. I'll be back in 24 hours. Don't forget to put your top back onto your Scarbond gap filler. Oh boy. But I'm getting there. Maybe tomorrow I can finish this up. But hopefully that's done. I had left the heater on till last night sometime. Woke up to about 14 degrees this morning. So I am now going to attempt to take more rock off. I'm afraid. Okay, that's most of it. Now I gotta go down and see if I've actually got this thing in place. That's where it gets scary. take off the noose. Go for it. Now then, that is a little bit higher than that. That is not good. Not that anyone's going to notice, but that's just not good. I don't care what anybody says. There's where the rock is coming off quite nicely. This is glue, so it's going to take some acrylic work. Where this goes and I hit the stuff where I added the putty, I don't know. It will usually release, but not always, so that's going to be that's a question for now. Okay, boy, that looks messy. The rock is definitely stuck to the two-part epoxy putty. This is the worst I've ever seen it. It usually almost always comes off fairly good to really good. And this isn't coming off at all. So that's going to have to be carved. I got to fill in all this with some putty today. Then let that cure. Shake that tomorrow. Get all this cleaned up as best I can. Get this cleaned up best I can. Finish up the end of this tail and or the tip of this ventral part of this tail. Oh boy, what a job. But it's getting there. It's all a process. You just got, you run into problems, you fix them. If there's a lot of problems, you fix a lot of problems. It's basically that simple, even though it can be very difficult. Yes. Or I have spoken. Okay. Use the same gloves as last time, waste not, want not. I mixed 3 different colors of putty from dark, medium dark to almost a reddish brown. And I'm going to start rebuilding this with my 2-part putty applicator here. So this leading edge here, I'm going to pinch that. Build that up a little bit, and then this here I'm going to have to get real far down in there and what I want to do is get these highest points here on this part of the fin and the highest part here and level that off so that when it's cured I can carve that, hopefully. Trying to get it as close to shape as possible so there's the least amount of carving as possible. And I'm going to take some of this dark stuff and put it on this leading edge. Give it a two-tone kind of appearance, kind of hide it. I'll probably have to paint it, but I don't know, we'll see. Depends how it looks. I don't want to paint it if I don't have to. And then a little bit more here. Can always take it off, right? Then wet this down, it's a little bit of water. Get that to the shape I want it, hopefully. Kinda, sorta, maybe. I think I'm going to leave that alone. Maybe press this in a little bit more. And then take some of this other brown stuff. Oh, I don't like that step. There's a step down from this side to that side. So I'm going to soften it. At least try to. By putting some putty there and hopefully. And with some water. Now before, I was just starting to work on this tail bit, found a little bit more thin bone material and ran into another cave-in. So there's a cave-in and now another one. So I filled it with glue and put accelerator in it, stopped. That's all I can do. So, boy, this tail's turning into a job, but it has to be done. Well, good morning. Everything's cured. So, even though I've got some sandpaper to sand this a little bit, going to be very careful not to hit these bones. All these little individual bones. Jesus. The hard part's going to be carving those little bones in there. But right now, I'm going to see how far I can get to this tip. I've stopped. Well, that stopped me once. I know that stopped me twice. I think that stopped me twice. I can't remember. Anyways, what I'm going to do is try to see how far I can get on this tail tip. And hopefully get that done. And however far I get, then I'm going to hop over to the... Ooh, I've been dreading that stuff. Been dreading it. Man, that takes some concentration for me anyways. Okay, I had to use this smaller tool here. You can see the difference in the size of these tips. This one even sounds a lot different. Oop, not I've already unplugged it. Anyways, I'm going to take the bigger tool, whoops, and smooth out this rock and stuff here. Clean that up a bit. And I don't need my Optivisor number 10. I'm going to my Optivisor number 5. That way I don't have to be so close to the work. This is a pretty flat open up too. Ooh, well, that took a while. Looks like crap, but I can doctor that up. I'll show you right here, right now. a little bit of sandpaper. I think that's 100 grit. Probably 150. If you just take a little bit of sanding, of course, now a lot of that's glue, so glue's tough to change. If you can tell, that brings it around to a little bit lighter color like this rock. And I can wash that, and well, I'm going to do several things to it: sanding, washing, tooling, and try to hide that a little bit so it's not so pronounced. Plus, like I've said 100 times, once the fish is done and framed up hanging on a wall, nobody will know. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to sand this stuff, do some carving, try to fix this step down here. I'm scared. Alright, here goes nothing. Well, that's gonna be tough. Guess it doesn't matter which way I sand until I get down close. It's gonna be real tough. Alright, that's going to take a while. I'm going to sand that down and sand and sand and sand, clean up this edge, then I'll do the actual carving. God, I hope I can do it. Okay, lots of sanding, and I got that pretty good. I just feel from one edge to the other, that feels pretty good. So, next I'm going to turn this whole rock around so I can work on this edge with this, clean it up with this, and I'll show you what that looks like. God, I may not have enough putty there. I don't know yet. I'm gonna find out. Okay, I'm not that happy with it, but it's better than it was. So I'm gonna work on this little step since this is lower than this part, just by a little bit, but it just bothers me. Anyways, I'm going to see if I can clean it up a little bit, and I don't know, we'll just see what happens. I'm going to basically just take this thing I'm not worried about the tool marks here yet. Okay, I've sharpened my chainsaw file to a needle sharp point. Got a ruler for a guide, and what I got to remember is these first few bones come down and they actually come to an end. So I'm going to start with I think this one right here, and this one so I'm going to just find a spot here. Man, that's tough. That's tough. Even that takes concentration. There's one. At least part of the way, anyways. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I just kept playing with this whole area with just some sandpaper and this little tiny shaped file, carving these lines, trying to smooth out the lines so that they are beveled. Try to match these as best I can, and I'm sure I'll play with that a little bit more, but maybe right here. That's about as much as I can do, I think. So I'm gonna have to attach some more putty here to kind of smooth that out a little bit so it doesn't look so wrinkled. How's that for a word? A little bit here to hide that, and then I'm gonna have to tool all this to make it somehow blend into the rock a little bit more. But I'm almost, not quite, but almost happy with that. Then once it gets all, well, I'll probably put a little color on that too, but once this gets all sauced up, yeah! Rawr. I'll have to shape that and still work on it a little bit, but I'm almost happy with that. Wish I was better at this, but I do what I can. Alrighty then. Today should be the day I get this done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Fordham grinder with this handpiece, a little sanding barrel. I think that's 120 grit. And I'm just going to dress up this right here. Get rid of all those tool marks. Make it look a little bit professional, and then there's a little bit down at the tail end I have to do. But basically I just turn it on, get the speed I want, and just very carefully just grind that or sand that until it's nice and smooth. I can't do it all because some of its rock is missing, but that's the way it is. Here, let me zoom in there and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, a little dust there, but you can see how much nicer that looks. I mean, there's still some boo-boos in there, but that's the way it goes. I gotta do this edge and down there. I think I'll be starting to do the last of the acrylics. Okay, now I'm going to wash this entire rock. I gotta be careful where I've got acrylic because there's no glue on it yet, there's no sealant on it. And I gotta be careful of the spots that I colored in already. So first the rock with this big scoury tough brush, and then some smaller, tinier, more delicate areas with this toothbrush. So I will get to washing. And paper towels to dry it up faster because I want to get to I don't know what that stuff is. Take my Super Jack, which blows a ton of air, and do a little speed drying. Alright, got my acrylics ready, got my paintbrush ready, got my water ready. I'm going to attack this tail end. This is almost nerve-wracking, But I'll do the best I can and call it quits. Then I'm going to sauce this whole thing up and make it pop. That's the best I can do there. When I clipped all this, it should blend in a little bit more, I hope. I'm not really liking that, but that, for me, that was one heck of a tough spot. Now I'm going to clip all the entire fish, the fins, even the little fish, even the shrimp. Let's make them stand out a little bit. When I get to the tail, I'm not sure how that's going to go because there's so much paint on there, even though it's very lightly painted in places. The Gliptol dissolves glue fairly quickly, so I got to make a swipe and let it. I'm already getting nervous, so I'm going to get to work. I've got my brushes, got my Gliptol. All I do is put a bunch of Gliptol in a little shot glass that I've had for 20 some years. First one broke, happens. I'll use the small one first. Got a little rag here. And all I'm going to do is put a coat of Gliptol everywhere. I'll probably do the top first, down to the backbone, and then the bottom. That way that it's harder to keep a wet edge on a wider surface than a thinner surface. And I want to keep it as wet or as non-cured as possible so it doesn't look like I've glued, stopped, and put glue on top of glue. Anyways, let's get to work. First of all, these fins. So I put a little bit of glue on. This one's easy because it doesn't have anything on it, no paint to dissolve. There's the easy one. See how it makes it a little darker, make it stand out a bit? The whole fish is going to be like that. Then this one. Because this is all paint. Well, most of it's all paint. There's little scraps of bone there. Not much. Alright, getting there. So I left I didn't put any Gliptol inside where the mouth is, just overall the teeth. I might have to do a little bit of something right there. I have a little bit of glue too high, but I can hit that real quick. So, now my hand's probably in the way. I can't help that. I apologize. You can see as soon as that glue hits there, it just makes everything just come alive. It's not even a scary movie. Sorry, just having fun. Look at that! Holy crap, this is nice. Oh, jeez, I'm loving this. Now when I got onto the body of the fish, I put the little brush aside and got the bigger brush, which is easily twice as wide. Just holds more glue, get things done a little faster. So simply follow the outline of the fish. Sorry if my hand is in the way. And then smother that backbone with glue to where I just started the outline of the fish, and then just start gluing the field. Oh, look at that. Just starting to pop. Loving that big time. So the head area, dorsal area, all the way to the tail is done. Now I'm going to do the bottom part and this fin and those things and save that beautiful tail for last. If you don't mind. Try not to leave any puddles. Puddles of glue will dry glossy. At least this stuff does. So you put it on uniformly as possible. It's pretty simple. And there's the bottom of the fish. Now for the tail. This side's got no paint on it, so this one will be easy. No need to fret. Wow, that's really soaking up some glue. And up there, that way, I found a bunch of kind of loose stuff. It's almost scary. And on this side, I hope I don't. I hope I don't start dissolving acrylic. Put a lot of time into that tail, so when you put it on, you just try to put it on as fast as you can without leaving a puddle, and then leave it. Let it set up. That's your tip for the day. This is almost nerve-wracking. There it is, guys, girls. One beautiful freaking fish. That took so long, so many steps, so much preparation, so much fixing. Just hours and hours and hours and hours of almost pure fun. That fish swam around the oceans 98 million years ago, eating, well, and pooping too, and making babies, and then died, sank to the bottom, got buried, and then 98 million years later ends up in a garage in Montana. How freaking cool is that? There you have it, folks. Is that not, or was that not, an awesome freaking fish? Later on, well, much later on, winter just got here basically because it's right after Christmas. But I'll be making a frame for this and hanging on the wall. That's going to be on another video, but I sure hope you liked this one because I sure liked making it.